Okay, so your credit card bill hits your inbox. You're on top of it, so you log in and pay the whole thing off right away. That feels like the right move, right? But what if that responsible habit isn't actually helping your credit score the way you think it is? In fact, depending on when you pay, it might not be helping your score at all. So, is paying your bill the second it arrives a mistake? Let's break down exactly how to time your credit card payment to get the biggest possible boost to your score. To see why the timing of your payment is so important, you have to understand the second biggest piece of your credit score, your credit utilization ratio. You can just think of it as your debt-to-limit ratio. It's a measure of how much of your available credit you're using, and it makes up about 30% of your FICO score. Your payment history is still number one at 35%, which is why you always need to pay on time. To lenders, a high utilization ratio is a red flag. For instance, if you've got one credit card with a $10,000 limit and a balance of $8,000, your utilization is 80%. That can make it look like you're financially stretched. But if your balance is just $1,000, your utilization is only 10%. That signals you've got your finances under control. Most experts say to keep your utilization below 30%, but if you're aiming for the best scores, under 10% is the real target. So, where does paying early come in? It all comes down to the balance that your credit card company reports to the credit bureaus. Okay, so with utilization in mind, let's look at your actual statement. You've probably seen two main dates on your bill: the statement closing date and the payment due date. Most of us just focus on the due date, since that's the deadline to avoid a late fee. But for your credit score, the statement closing date is the one you really need to watch. The closing date is just the end of your billing cycle. On that day, your card issuer takes a snapshot of your account, your balance included. And that is the balance they send over to credit bureaus like Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. The due date is usually about 3 weeks after the statement closes. It's simply the last day you have to pay for that cycle's purchases without getting hit with a penalty. If you wait until your due date to pay the bill, that higher balance from your statement has already been reported and is already baked into your credit score for the month. So here's the actual strategy. If you want to give your credit score a boost, the key is to make a payment before your statement closing date. By knocking down your balance before your card issuer reports it, you get to control how high or low your reported utilization is. Let's go back to that card with a $10,000 limit. Say you spend $3,500 during the month. If you let that full amount sit there until your statement closes, a $3,500 balance gets reported. Your utilization is 35%. That's not awful, but it's not great either. But what if you paid $2,800 a few days before your statement closing date? Now, your balance on closing day is only $700. Just like that, the balance reported to the bureaus shows a super low 7% utilization. This one simple timing trick can have a really positive impact on your score. There's no penalty for paying early. The only real downside is you'll have a little less cash on hand for a short time. This technique is especially useful if you're planning to apply for a big loan, like a mortgage or for a car, in the next couple of months. Ready for the advanced version? You might be thinking, great, I'll just pay my balance down to zero before the statement closes. And that makes total sense. But there's a bit of a debate among credit experts on this. Some argue that letting a $0 balance report every single month can actually be less effective than letting a very small balance report. And why is that? Because a $0 balance might signal to the scoring models that you aren't even using the card. By letting a tiny balance report, like 1% to 5% of your limit, you're showing the bureaus that you are actively and responsibly using your credit. It proves you can handle debt and pay it back, which is what a credit score is all about. So, the ultimate pro-level move is to pay off most of your balance before the closing date, but leave a tiny manageable amount on there. Then, after the statement officially closes, you pay off that remaining small balance before the payment due date. That way, you avoid paying a single penny in interest. It's a small change in timing that can make a huge difference to your score.